that you will have occasion sometime in your life to want to work with. For inner obscurations, things that appear to be inside of you, such as physical and mental illnesses, Medicine Buddha is probably the most effective. For things that appear to be outside of you, appear to you to be outside of you. Financial problems, housing problems, things that usually come under the category of problems. Green Tara is the most effective. So I want to teach you how to work with these two archetypical energies, how they came to be, and why they're useful. So the format I'm going to use, we're going to do Medicine Buddha first, and then take a short break, maybe 5 minutes, and then do Green Tara. I think they'll both fit nicely into this amount of time. If not, we will finish Medicine Buddha and reschedule Tara sometime during the week. Or even next weekend. I have to see what's up. But I think we have time for both. Neither one is very long to do the sadhana. Chuku kundu zongbo gomboi Dorji sempa garab dorji dang Shere singe bardu shin labdi Dedam mabzan tata tusum chi Zogchen jupe lama la solowa deb Ergin pema junila solowa Dorji chang chitilo narudang Marpa mila gompo tsatsapa Na pupadang palden drupa sok Kargulama namla solo deb Ochen lama namla solo Druchen lama namla solo deb Kaginwari lama namla solo deb Shakya lama namla solo deb Nyandu da yundrun lama namla solo deb Palkondu jong dang yerme pa Gun garab dorji jin trag pa Jeti dang nisume pai Pa lamanam jetente Chong. When working with any archetype, any yidam, it is important to retain an awareness that you are not an inherently existent person. Asking an inherently existent Buddha separate from yourself to get rid of an inherently existent and real illness. That's theistic. You'll find that in many religions which focus their attention on a god or goddess, or any number of them in a theistic way, as in, I'm real and it's real. That's not the basis of Buddhism. It is precisely because nothing has any true, separate, independent existence from anything else, including illnesses. It is that fact which makes this work. Your own mind is not separate or other than all mind. Mind itself, the innate vitality, the innate aliveness, the lucidity of this very universe. How can you know that? Examine your life and it will be obvious. For example, you, as you are now, have a personality. How'd you get that? How'd you become who you are now? You're not the same as when you were 14. Heaven forbid. That's a confused period of time. You've changed. What changed you? What formed you as you are now? Interactions with others in the form of conversations, movies seen and books read, things found on the internet. You, as you are now, with all your delightful bits and peculiar foibles, are made up of genetics from parents and influences from others. That's an amalgam, not a single thing. It doesn't exist separate from that which has influenced you or contributed your genetics. It's part of that. It's interconnected, interpenetrating, interwoven with that. And if you look far enough, all of your influencers were influenced by other influencers, which were influenced by even more influencers. You're nothing but a pile of influences interconnected with all the other piles of influences, and you think you're a separate entity? Really now? Oh, sure, it feels as if you're bound by skin. Nuh-uh. Put chili pepper on that skin, or menthol. It's an outside influence. It will very much change how your skin feels. Switch laundry detergents. See if you get a rash. You don't end and be uninfluenced. Second, consider your biome. All the little critters that inhabit you and are part of you. If they get out of whack, you get sick. If a man without money has a yeast overgrowth such that he has incredible sugar cravings and steals a donut, who gets the karma? The man or the yeast? Do consider that you are not singular. You're an ecology interacting with all the other ecologies in the universe. So how could you possibly imagine you to be independently existent? The mind of all Buddhas is a reference to the mind of all and everything. For in the fullness of infinite time, are not all sentient beings that which arises as all Buddhas? And since that is outside of time and space, it is fully in every single here and now that occurs. That being as it is, that energy pervades samsara and nirvana. The energy of mind, the mind of all Buddhas. And that energy reacts to certain sonics, the way you react to somebody calling your name. It gets your attention. Hey, David. Made you look. Didn't I, David? There's got to be at least one David out there today. Amelia, did I catch your attention too? See? See, when you say the mantra and call the name of a all-pervasive energy, it's there. It hears. It is responsive, just like you are. If I hit you, you're going to have a response. You might be angry, frightened, decide it's a blessing. According to your karma, you'll respond. Well, these energies, in their time and place of entering into awareness of enlightenment, noticing enlightenment, have set certain patterns. You can set patterns while you have volition or aliveness. You can make choices and develop intents. Medicine Buddha himself took 12 intents, vows, manlam. They are created by the recitation of a decision. And because of this cause in the karmic pattern of the universe, these 12 causes, they can come to fruition. They're like hooks. You have to make a loop by your practice so the hook can catch the loop and resolve the problem as is the hook's intent. So to visualize this practice, imagine that you are surrounded by all sentient beings. Your friends, your enemies, your parents, your children, your pets, strangers, all of them out to infinity are around you. And you're going to take mental actions for their sake. Imagine, visualize, not just in the shape and color like looking at a picture, but imagine in your feelings as well. In front of you, Medicine Buddha, Sanjay Menjala, sitting there looking at you. This is his shape. Looks like a regular Buddha, but in his left hand he holds a pot. The pot contains all the medicines of the universe. In his right hand, he holds a medicinal plant. The medicinal plant is the essence of the cause of all medicine which relieves from suffering. Cause and result symbolized together in this form. Color is very interesting. It's blue, but not just any blue. The blue of high altitude. Can you see that blue? The dark, really bright blue. This happens to be a photograph taken from the edge of space. There's a light blue underneath. That's the sky at low altitude. But the upper blue, that deep color of lapis, but bright, not dull. Shiny. He is that color. He's about the height of your forehead, in front of you. About, to the extent you can easily reach your arm. Right about there. He's gazing at you with the love a mother has for her only child. And he is beautiful. You request him to eliminate pain, purify disease. Rebalance your elements and restore your health. Or if you're doing this for someone else in particular who's having a health problem, to restore their health, and you name them. It works best if the sick person does it with you, at least to the best of their ability. But sometimes that's not possible when you're doing it for another. They may not be conscious. But do use their name and do say it out loud. This is the Chakra of Intent. Use it to set the intent. Imagine that Medicine Buddha happily responds to your request. And instantly healing light of this amazing shade of blue, liquid light like nectar, emanates from the bowl that he's holding and flows to the crown of your head or the head of the sick person, as well as to all the surrounding infinite sentient beings, filling yours and their bodies completely. If you have a located illness, say it's in your hand or your head or your liver, you can specifically send that blue light to the head, the hand, or the liver. And in fact, you can also visualize that blue light coalescing into a tiny form of Medicine Buddha, no wider than your 4 fingers, and emanating, clearing, soothing, perfect light in that area, as well as what's flowing into the crown and filling you up. But if you don't know where the illness is, if you don't know what's wrong, just use it filling from the crown. And you visualize this blue light while you do the mantra. You should do at least 1 mala round. All the obstacles, sicknesses, demonic disturbances, what translates as demonic here. Your Doom, Dood, Dri, Gek, and Parchi. Only drees are sentient beings that wish you harm. Like bacteria that eat people, those are dree. Dung and Dude and Gek and Parchi are more internal disturbances. A Dung is a general suffering. A Dude is like an addictive substance or an addiction, the devil of gambling or of alcohol. A Gek is one of those little repeating things that you keep tripping over, like you keep having traffic rage, or you have a difficult relationship with your mother and you keep tripping over your assumptions about it, about how she feels and what she thinks of you. These are all Geks. Parchis are cricks in your channels. Gnarly bits, matted bits in your channel body and your light body, which keep the chi from flowing properly. That manifests as pain and discomfort, either physical or mental, depending on where the parchi is stuck. Hindrances. So this purifies all of these. And blesses it and resolves particular physical problems. It is helpful to focus a single session on a particular problem that is most bothering you at the moment. So if you do this as a daily practice, one day your arthritis might be flared. The next day you might have heard about a friend who's in hospital that you're worried about. The next day you get an unexpected bill from the doctor that is more than you can comfortably pay, and you're concerned about resolving this. So each day you're going to put a slightly different focus on what you're trying to resolve, according to what's up for you right then. Doesn't only work on physical sickness, but mental sickness as well. Addiction. Sometimes people ask me what they can do for an addicted relative who is not going to cooperate with their doing. It's going to take a lot of work, but what you can do is medicine Buddha. It'll work faster and better if they cooperate. Say the mantra a bit. Imagine the color a little bit. It works best if you have their permission. It won't work against their will, because beings do have free will. And to impose your will on another, even for their own good, like Texas, or the missionaries in Hawaii, made them wear clothes utterly unsuitable for the climate, causing heat illnesses. Oops. So it's not going to impose your will on another, because Digpa will not occur through this practice. Got a fail-safe. Because it is fully enlightened. So how to do the practice? I've got a couple of versions here for you. This old one, direct from Wangdor Rinpoche in his handwriting. And it's the one that I am accustomed to using. I'm going to give you the lung. This will be put in, what, Facebook chat?
Yeah, I built a photo album and I put links to that in the comments.
Okay, so you can find links in the comments if you want to download this. But here's the lung. Tupse kunla nambe chom dende. Tsensum tu peng endru dungal sel. Duksum nesel sanji menjila. Bendruya iula chagsalo. Tayata Om Bea Kenzi Maha Bea Kenzi Ranza Samukate Soha. Tayata Om Bea Kenzi Maha Bea Kenzi Ranza Samukate Soha. Tayata Om Bea Kenzi Maha Bea Kenzi Ranza Samukate Soha. Ngewadi Nyurdudag Sanje Menla Drup Gyurne Droha Chikchang Malupa Chi Sala Goparshu. When you do the mantra, repeat this after me. Tayata. Om. Beakensi. Beakensi. Maha. Beakensi. Ranza. Samu. Gateya. Soha. Tayata Om Beakensi. Beakensi. Maha Beakensi. Ranza Samu Gateya Soha. Tayata Om Beakensi, Maha Beakensi, Ranza Samu Gateya Soha. This is simple, short, sweet, and works, which is why I like it. What did you say? Compassion to all equally, without judgment or differentiation. Wisdom itself purified of all four demons of ignorance, wisdom and the qualities of wisdom. Hearing this name in your ear, be you hell or hell being a ghost or an animal, suffering, let your suffering be gone. May the three illnesses, three poisons of aversion, attraction, and ignorance be gone. Take them away, Medicine Buddha. Your lapis lazuli blue light. To this I with your lapis lazuli blue light, to this I prostrate. Simple, short, and sweet. I have another one for you. Also very beautiful. I'm going to give it to you in English first. From my heart shoot forth lapis lazuli blue rays of light, which flood toward the east to the Buddha field of lapis lazuli. East, the direction of the purified. Fear and anger into absolute equanimity. Not fuzzy equanimity, but clear and precise awareness of all phenomena without judgment placed upon it, without grasping and shoving placed upon it. Where they touch the heart of the great Master, Doctor, Lord of Physicians, who is thus reminded of his former pledges, his prayers and aspirations. In turn, he sends back further rays of lapis lazuli-colored light, which dissolve into my own body and the bodies of all those who need protection. Thus I imagine all diseases evaporating, dwindling to nothing like frost in the sunlight. Homage to the Buddha, great physician teacher, Lord of physicians, radiant lapis lazuli, king of light. Lord of physicians, radiant lapis lazuli king, by the truth of your pledge, your 12 great aspirations, great Monlam, and by the truth of each of your words without exception, Monlam, may each and every illness that affects sentient beings be pacified now in this very instant. Tayataum Bekenzi, Maha Bekenzi, Ranza Samugate Soha. And there is a second part of the mantra, or a second mantra, that you can add to the original mantra if you want. Ni Sava Santin Kuru Soha. Tayataum Bekenzi, Maha Bekenzi, Ranza Samugate Soha. Ni Sarva Shantin Kuru Soha. The second part of the mantra, that little bit at the end, requests rapid action. Basically, both times it says, please fix it. For singing it, there is question out there about whether these should be done in English or Tibetan. I definitely prefer them in Tibetan because the translations are imperfect and are not nearly as poetic. Each Tibetan word has so many connotations that are part of it that come to mind in Tibetan. Even if you don't speak Tibetan, they're in there. That just don't fit into the English without a whole paragraph for each word. That I feel as if the pith is lost by chanting in English. So I am a firm encourager for you to chant in Tibetan and learn the meaning of the words that you're chanting. Range tukleo zertingkatro. Let me double check something. Yeah. Range tukleo zertingkatro. Sar chong bendru ya nang shingam su. Chom den men la shukpe tu karpok. Ngonge damche tukji manlam dre. O zerbendruyai dokdrato. Dak dang sanje nam kilalutam. Ne kunwar mur nizer pok dragom. Sanje menjila bandruya. O ki gyalpo la chagsalo. Sanje menjila bandruya. O ki gyalpo monlam chenchun tapedren padang. Dren pe tsikti daksok semje tam kini. Tam che danta nidu shiwagyur chik. Tayata Bear Kenzi, Maha Bear Kenzi, Ranza Samugate Soha. Nisarva Shantin Kuru Soha. Tayata Bear Kenzi, Maha Bear Kenzi, Ranza Samugate Soha. Nisarva Shantin Kuru Soha. Tayata Bear Kenzi, Maha Bear Kenzi, Ranza Samugati Soha. Ni Sarva Shantin Kuru Soha. Ge Wandi Nyurdudak Sanje men la drup gyurne droha chi chang malupa che sala go parshu. The dedication of merit is the same for both. As you, Sanjay Menjula, have done, so I will do to the rescue of all life, approximately. Some of you may be curious. Oh, at the end, spend a little time. When you are done with the visualization in the blue light, let it dissolve into the infinite, vast, open, sky-like nature of mind, the great seal of emptiness. And do rest there for as long as is comfortable for you. Then dedicate the merits. Some of you may be wondering what Medicine Buddha's 12 Monlam were, what he promised, what he set the intent for. That my body shall shine as brilliant beams of light, showering all beings, removing their ignorance and worries. May all beings become like me, that all beings become like me. Enlightenment as all Buddhas. That's one. Two, that my body become like a crystal, pure and flawless, radiating rays of light to every corner, brightening and enlightening all beings with wisdom, all beings strengthening their spiritual powers and physical energy so that they could fulfill their dreams and be on the right track to do so. Grant by means of boundless wisdom. Number 3, I grant by means of boundless wisdom all beings with the inexhaustible things they require, relieving them from all pains and guilts resulting from their materialistic choices. Although clothing, food, and accommodation and transport are essentials, use what is granted wisely. The remaining should be generously shared with the community after you have seen to your own needs. I will lead those who have gone astray back to the path of wisdom. Number 4. 5, I shall enable all beings to observe their precepts of choice for spiritual progress, to follow the decisions they have made and wish to follow. Should they oops and then repent and sincerely regret the oops and vow to avoid that particular oops with prayer and faith, may they receive rays which recover them from its results. You see, oopses are inevitable. Just don't make the same one twice. Notice them. Regret it happened without beating yourself over the head with it. Sincerely go, yeah, that was an oops. Sorry about that. I really regret that. I won't do that one again. And then do the puja to fix the oops. The ceremony, the mantra. Number 6. I will see that all beings who are physically disabled or sick be blessed with good health, both physically and mentally. All who pay homage here will be blessed. Number 7, I vow to relieve all pain and poverty of the very sick and poor, that they be cured, that the helpless be helped and the poor be funded. 8, I will assist all women and those who are undergoing the sufferings of discrimination by hearing my name and paying homage and doing their own manlam to me, saying the mantra. Their wishes will be granted and ultimately attain the equality of Buddhahood. Unusual in those days and times that he noticed. If you dream with me that someday we will create a society where complexion, color, hair texture, ancestry, and gender no longer limit the potentials one may aspire to, this is a good puja for it, surprisingly. We ain't there yet, guys. Still a dream. But there's enough of us fighting for that dream. I will free all beings from evil thought and its control. Those peculiar ideations that one can come to believe in, like conspiracy theories. vaccine has a microchip that they control your mind with. You know, we've got some funny ones out there these days. They had different ones then, but people always get into that crap. I vow to free all beings from confused thought and its control. I shall lead them onto the path of light through inculcating them with wisdom and honor, so that they will walk the effective path. I vow to save prisoners who are innocent or have repented, and victims of natural disasters. For in many places, being imprisoned may be likened to a natural disaster. You don't actually have to do something in this life to cause it. I will free them from the sufferings. I will save those who suffer from starvation and those who committed a crime to obtain food. If they hear my name and faithfully cherish it, I will lead them to the advantages of the path and favor them with the best food they can imagine, that they may lead a tranquil and happy life. I vow to save those who suffer from poverty, tormented by mosquitoes and external conditions day and night. If they come across my name and cherish it with sincerity and practice to strengthen their Gewa and the Gewa of the pot of the universe, they will achieve their wishes. From the side of the one who became, of the doctor, who made these manlams, and in his moment of enlightenment became medicine Buddha with the power of these manlams in this archetype, it is easy to hook into it. The energy is labeled. It has an ISP address. You can find it. What I'm offering you today is the URL for this energy in the infinite web of mind. Om Bea Kenze Maha Bea Kenze Ranza Samugati Soha. Om Bea Kenze Maha Bea Kenze Ranza Samugati Soha. Om Bea Kenze Maha Bea Kenze Ranza Samugati Soha. Just by this, that which has been created, a flow in the currents of time and space, in the vast web of mind, you can access it. You can't without the URL. Too big out there. Need the address. This is the address. Sanjay Menjela La Tsagsalo. Call the name. Menjela. Sanjay Menjela. Say the mantra. Om Bea Kenze Maha Bea Kenze Ranza Samugati Soha. Feel tactilely the liquid light. See the color in your mind's eye. Hear the resonance of the sound of the mantra. And it's right there for you. understand that there are 4 kinds of illness in the way we categorize this. There is minor illnesses like a bruise on your arm, doesn't really need medical treatment. It'll go away of its own accord. You bumped into a shelf. There are more major illnesses such as a UTI that probably you need to take medicine to get rid of. Then there are illnesses such as fibromyalgia, chronic stress leading to chronic exhaustion, depression that there really aren't medical cures for, or they haven't figured them out yet, long COVID. That's the stuff that Medicine Buddha works on best, the 3rd class. The ones that aren't really going to respond to medical treatment, but aren't of the 4th class where it's karmically set that this is going to kill you. An example is one I suffer from that is terminal: old age. There isn't an antidote. You can't even pray it away. You're gonna die of old age if something else doesn't kill you first. It's called impermanence. That's the 4th category. Even in the 4th category, by using Medicine Buddha, even though you die, it doesn't hurt. It's kind of fun. Blissful, not suffering. So even if you have the 4th kind of illness, this practice is useful. I will take a few minutes for a couple of questions if anyone wants to put one in there that seems important to them.
One question has to do with pronunciation. You
Yes.
mentioned earlier that you really prefer the recitation in Tibetan rather than English, and I just thought I'd mention, Wanga Rinpoche was Kamke with a strong accent.
Works anyway.
Yeah.
Don't worry
they're
about your
wondering
accent.
About exact pronunciation.
There isn't an exact pronunciation, or rather there's as much difference in pronunciation as there is in the English language. From Cockney, through Scottish, through upper class English, through Southern drawl in America. It's just accent. It's the meaning in the words, and if you always pronounce them the same way, you'll know what you mean there. The meaning will be captured. So I have a really strong Kamke accent. Can't help it. It's where I learned Tibetan. If you want to use Lhasa accent or even Sanskrit phonetics, Tibetans can't say V. No V's, no F's. So they get substituted with W's and P's. And other things. Like Vajra is Doji. Good try.
Do you, another question is, do you recommend a source to give the complete empowerment for the Medicine Buddha?
I don't know. Has Garchen Rinpoche got it up there? I gave you Kriya Tantra today. I'm giving you Kriya Tantra because it does not require an empowerment. Works anyway. We like things that work anyway. Without a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross. So I don't really have a recommended source. Garchen Rinpoche puts a lot of good stuff up on the internet. See if he's got a Medicine Buddha. And then you could do the more powerful, or not more powerful, somewhat different in emphasis, Yoga Tara sadhana or even mahana tantra. I don't know what he's putting it in. But you're going to have a look around. Eventually, if you find a good one available on the internet, send me the URL. I'd like to take a look at it, and maybe we'll do it as a group someday like we're planning to do Kurukuli.
Yeah, one person has commented that they did receive their empowerment from Garchen Rinpoche, so very likely.
If he's got it up there, that would be great.
Yeah.
He is a great bodhisattva for doing this because he's put it out there where you can get it without having to pay him money. Please, the custom is that you don't have to pay for it, but it would be appropriate if you find it of benefit to make a nice offering. Okay, guys? Dharma cannot be bought and sold. It's too valuable. You can't put a price on it. It's freely given. But you should freely give so that it continues to be made available. Because if the teacher has no food, or no Wi-Fi camera, no cell phone, because they didn't get any funding, well, they're not going to be able to put it out there for you, are they? If you hear these teachings translated into another language for you, please make offerings to the translator as well. You want to support the continuity of that which is useful to you by giving it, not just taking. Next question.
When you started talking about the 12 vows of the Medicine Buddha, which text was that?
I don't know where I found that. And there's a variety of different wordings on it all over the place. I pretty much summarized something I had. Some book I suspect I Xeroxed it out of or something. Maybe I downloaded it. Don't remember where I got that particular one, but I've seen any number of versions and different wordings. And what I gave you was more of a summary. Shortened the words a bit from that particularly long version that I happen to have a copy of. Next.
Do I need to chant the whole sadhana or just the mantra?
It would be most effective if you chanted even the short sadhana, which was just 4 or 5 lines. But if you are unable to do that because, say, you're out and about when you notice the need of it, you see a sick person, do the visualization of color and image and just do the mantra. Say you're out and about and you don't have it with you and you haven't got it memorized. That's fine under some circumstances where you can't do the sadhana. But when you're sitting on your cushion, it will help you to focus your energies on those energies and connect and interweave with them to do one of the sadhanas, even the first one, which Rinpoche's, which is really short and sweet. Next question.
Can we do the Medicine Buddha practice to benefit nurses, doctors, and healers as well?
Absolutely, although I will say that most of the doctors I know do this practice daily. One of the things I have noticed in working with it is that you do it before a doctor's appointment, and your doctor has a good day. He doesn't fight with his wife over breakfast and be distracted, or her husband. So he's able to focus his or her attention on your issues rather than being distracted by their own life, and become much better diagnosticians and prescribers because of this. It helps. And most of the doctors I know who have any touch with Buddhism do this practice for their own improvement of diagnosis and treatment, because it helps. You always get patients who are a puzzle. What the heck is this? Bacterial? Iatrogenic? Fungal? Lab didn't find anything, but it's definitely a rash. It helps you figure it out if you're a doctor or a nurse. And yes, with the stress and suffering that is going on with our poor medical professionals at this point and the way they're being treated by sick people, and their families, which is what I believe has happened here, is that people are suffering from a weird combination of stress and boredom. They're trying to relieve this by popping off left and right. It's not working for them. It's just stressing out even more people who are stressed and bored. Bored because you can't go recreate the way you used to. Can't go to a bar and just, drink and laugh with strangers. Can't go out to dinner without thinking about, is this a vaccinated-only restaurant? Do they have social distancing? How's the ventilation? So you're kind of at home bored. No parties. If that was your way of entertaining yourself, and not rather being a bookworm, you're bloody bored. But you're stressed. There's danger. It makes people really crazy, and they're acting out. And when you're sick and vulnerable, it's real easy to act out at the doc, or the nurse, or the pharmacist. I bit a pharmacist the other day. Well, verbally. Well, she was annoying, but nonetheless. I have my own little idiosyncrasies. Little feminine women who flutter in positions that require competence. That's just personal. Got no reality. I will have to purify that glitch, won't I? Oh well. I don't hide anything from you guys. We're all in this together. Next question.
One person asked, saying they're having problems concentrating on their practice, specifically because their child had surgery yesterday to replace part of the aorta, and they're somewhat distracted, but they do request that you do the mantra aloud a bit more so they can do it with you during this broadcast.
Join me then, right now. Om Bekenzi Bekenzi Maha Bekenzi Ranza Samugate Soha. Om Bekenzi Bekenzi Maha Bekenzi Ranza Samugate Soha. Some people prefer to start it with Tayata. The essence of it is Om Bekenzi Bekenzi Maha Bekenzi Ranza Samugate Soha. But you can also add in the Tayata, which means so be it that. It just is a strengthener to the statement. What the mantra is alluding to is Tayata emphasizes the statement. Om asks it to affect the realm of form and happening, the realm of matter. Beakenzi, Maha Beakenzi is doctor energy of great healerness, healing energy, doctor energy. Ranza Samuk refers to the light that emanates and heals, that dutsi, liquid light. Gateya Soha is as it is, or has been done, is doing, is happening. These mantras don't really translate. There's so many depths in each syllable. But that was a quick off the cuff. So what you're doing is calling upon the light, even if all you can do is say the mantra and visualize the color. Do that. Let the color flow into, through, filling around the one who is ill. Tayata Om Beakenzi Maha Beakenzi Ranza Samugati Soha. 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 Tayata Om Beakenzi Maha Beakenzi Ranza Samugataya Soha. You can sing it too. Not that I can sing personally, but you can. Tayata Om Beakenzi Maha Beakenzi Ranza Samugati Soha. Tayata Om Beakenzi Maha Beakenzi Ranza Samugati Soha. If you go onto YouTube, you will find, if you Google it right, Medicine Buddha Mantra YouTube, you will find many fine Tibetan singers singing this mantra more tunefully than I ever could. Om Beakenzi Ma Beakenzi Ranza Samugati Soha. Tayata Om Beakenzi Ma Beakenzi Ranza Samugati Soha. Tayata Om Beakenzi Ma Beakenzi Ranza Samugati Soha. Tayata Om Beakenzi Maha Beakenzi Ranza Samugati Soha. Like that. And as I promised you, now is the time we're going to take about a 5-6 minute break. We can do that technically, can't we?
We can.
We're going to take this little break for me to go pee and to change my mental tracks from Medicine Buddha to Green Tara, which I will do next. So that's like between 5 and 10 minutes. Are you all good with that? Are we getting any thumbs up from out there?
Hard to tell.
Hard to tell. That's okay. I will assume that they're gonna have to be good with it, because I'm gonna do it. I gotta pee. Sorry, guys.
Okay, don't forget to disconnect
I
your
did.
microphone.
I remembered my microphone. My texts are all here. My coffee is here.
Okay.
So this won't take all that long.
Yes. You need more coffee?
Soon, not yet.
We're not muted.
Okay, guys, I'm back. And opening the Tara text. Tara, green Tara. Great Mother Ocean of Dharmakaya, Mother of all Buddhas, Mother of all phenomena. She who fearlessly brings beings across the ocean of samsara. She is particularly known for her swift activity at solving problems. And it doesn't matter, she doesn't judge you for having the problem. Whether you've got a worldly problem or a spiritual problem, whatever your motivation, she brings benefit to all without judging you for needing it. She leads people to awakening. Jetsun Dorma. The power to liberate others. She benefits herself and all others. Beyond samsara, she has attained the stainless wisdom body of full Buddhahood. Fully enlightened, inseparable with the absolute true nature of all and everything. Dharmakaya, beyond the beyond and beyond that as well. Beyond the 6 paramitas, and that manifest in action. The union of samsara and nirvana as bodhisattva. The play of the unmanifest as the manifest. She is seen as female in the prime of her life. 3 parts, 3 aspects of a woman's life. Playfulness, creativity, and wisdom. She is all 3. The playfulness of a child, the creativity of a woman in her full fertility, creating life within, doing deeds in the world, and the wisdom of the crone, the grandmothers. All of this as one in full prime. Her color is a blue-green, the blue-green of snow melt, of glacier melt in mountain lakes. get that without reflection off it. I like that. Can you see? The mountain lake reflects the sky. Tibetan color wheel is unlike our color wheel. It's slightly twisted. It's more like a printer's color wheel with cayenne instead of blue, with magenta instead of red. You'll see that if you know anything about printing. So the Tibetan color wheel has Tserpo, Marpo, and Ngompo, which unfortunately gets translated as yellow, red, and blue, but aren't exactly. The yellow is more of a golden orangey yellow, like a saffrony yellow. The red is a purpley red, like a maroon, not fire engine red. And the blue is a greeny blue. That's why Tibetans say the leaves are blue. So again, this is why I like doing things in the original. You miss so much when you try to put it in English. She is the essence of all the sources of refuge. Her mind is the mind of the Buddha. Her speech itself is the path. Her body is all those who walk the path. Her qualities are that of the protectors. Her activities are the dakinis. She is not a self-existent goddess or deity. We don't do those in Buddhism. She's an archetype, a yidam. She symbolizes the inseparability of emptiness and clarity, emptiness and luminosity, emptiness and great-heartedness, Ningji. These are expressions of the dynamic nature of absolute reality. Look, the Dharmakaya is not just a static, big, dead old nothing. We say it's empty, but don't think of a void. It's lively. What is it lively with? Lucidity, vitality. Clear light, that's called. Clear, transparent light, which is in its nature that of the lucid vitality of life, which manifests as bodhisattva. For as life loves itself and seeks survival, so that love, when it is allowed to encompass all and everything, arises as the ultimate bodhisattva, Tara. Until such time as you recognize your own true nature, you can visualize, you can imagine her as outside of ourselves. She isn't really. Nor is she inside. There is no inside and outside. Remember, we are a clump of influences. Let Tara be one of the main influences. The awakened aspect with which we unite our mind in order to fully realize the two benefits, the benefit for ourselves and the benefit for others. The awakened formless body of sheer well-being and benefit. Hence the mother of all Buddhas, For does the Dharmakaya not give birth in its creativity to all phenomena? By dint of its vitality, its lucidity, it can think, feel, and perceive, which is phenomena. She is both peaceful and fierce as needed. She changes her clothes. This is the 21 Taras. 21 forms of form change. Just as you change your clothes depending on what you're doing. If I'm teaching, I wear robes. If I'm working in the garden, I wear heavy jeans and long sleeve shirts to avoid being attacked by rose bushes, of which I have several. If I'm cooking, I put on an apron. In these ways, you change your clothes according to what you're doing of the moment. So Chara changes her form, because she can, according to what is needed in the moment. Hence 21 forms, but they're all contained in this singular form. Some say that she is derived, this image is derived from Tara of the Acacia Forest, the original Dravidian South Indian, not the Aryan import, but the original native Dravidian Mother Nature, spirit of the forest. As such, she is also Gaia, consciousness of our world and all other worlds, which are themselves ecologies, like you and your biome, who think they're entities. It happens. So we use the green Tara as a image for all the many forms of Tara, and they all work together as that. Certain things stay the same no matter what. Her ornaments, which symbolize mastery of the 6 perfections, the 6 paramitas. Her necklaces, her bracelets each symbolize this. Her crown with the 5 colored jewels for the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, of which she is all of. Mirror-like wisdom, equanimity, discriminating wisdom, or discerning wisdom, all-accomplishing activity, all-pervading wisdom, the wish-fulfilling jewel. Tara shines like 1,000 stars together, like all the stars of the night sky. Limitless luminosity, limitless lucidity, limitless vitality, Sambhogakaya nature of mind. The color of melted snow in a high mountain lake, turquoise blue-green. This indicates the Buddha family she belongs to, that of Amoghasiddhi, all-accomplishing wisdom. She gets stuff done quickly. So if you need something done quickly and you cannot do it yourself, it's broken, you need it fixed, she'll help. Become her friend. Her specialty as such is the removal of difficulties, both inner and outer, danger, obstructions, fears, to transmit and through the transmission of the blessing of perfected wisdom. In the outer sense, she removes all your obstacles, things that are in your way. You need a better job. You want to fall in love. Trying to have a baby. Trying not to have a baby. All the many things that you trip over on the path. In an inner sense, she removes the negative influences that you've picked up as you walk through life. The habitual patterns that somebody once told you you were bad at math or good with machines, and you aren't, but you think you should be. Glitch, Geck, Barchi. She's really good at getting rid of demons, both inner and outer manifestations. Her right arm is in the sign of divine compassion. Her right hand giving the mudra of boundless generosity of blessings. She bestows both ordinary and extraordinary accomplishments. Her left arm symbolizes full and complete realization. Her left hand is in the mudra of giving protection. Thumb and ring finger joined, showing the union of skillful means and wisdom. This is also the mudra of suppressing demons. Put them down. Don't grab them. Her left arm also holds the stem of an upali flower. That's a very rare blue lotus. The lotus is a symbol of that which is rooted in the mud and muck of the swamp and the pond, and grows up above the muddy water, pristinely pure. The mud of samsara, the perfect blossom of enlightenment nourished by the mud of samsara. Samsara and nirvana in union, giving birth to the perfection of phenomena. Her left leg is in the half lotus, indicating that she has gone beyond the conflicting emotions. Her right leg is outstretched like she's about ready to jump off her cushion and come lend you a hand. Fix something. Rush to the aid of sentient beings. Both legs together symbolize that she is fully enlightened and yet remains in samsara as benefit. In order for Tara to be able to benefit us, we need to approach her open-heartedly, with faith and trust and knowing. We need to know her in order to trust her. You get to know her by doing her sadhana and her mantra. Just as you get to know a friend over time by spending time with them, so with Tara, by spending time with her in her ceremonies, in her mantra, in her visualization. You get to know her, establish a relationship with this archetype, and so arises the trust and the ability to rely on her. Even if you don't really have that actualized in the beginning, it will arise over time. The more you are able to open to her, to know her and trust her, the more she is able to benefit you. Her seed syllable is her phone number, her URL. Tam, the heart. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha, visualizing her, imagining her, will get you to know her. Now, most practices you need to have a Wong. Medicine Buddha and Tara are a little different here in the Kriya form. By their own side, by Monlam created by the person who became this energy, who personified this energy, who is personified by this energetic archetype. By that action, it is there. And even without a formal Wong, you can access it because of causes created from that side. So learn to do the practice. If at some point the Wong is available to you, take it. It will intensify things. But if you have not had that opportunity, do the practice anyway. In relative reality, around here, the truth of cause and effect on the level of phenomena totally influences how we experience our reality, our personal reality. It's not real, it's just yours. It's made up of the sensations of your 6 sense organs, the meaning you have interpreted to those sensations, and the feelings you have about that interpretation. When things go our way or seem to us to be going our way, we are happy. When it seems to us that they are not going our way, we are sad. When we don't get what we want or lose what we have, urgent bliss and emptiness. We think enlightenment is something to be acquired or attained someday. Oops. Not experiencing ourselves as Buddha, as a fully liberated one. We call upon an energy that we can experience as that in our confusion. And we supplicate that energy personified with devotion. You need that devotion to really make it work well, but it's something you will develop over time. You see your Yidam as inseparable from your root teacher. This opens your heart and mind to the experience of your own innate pure nature. Through your devotion to this archetype, you can experience the pure reflection through this and come to know who you really are. Tara is real as you and I. And as such, she can transmit blessings to us when called upon. But you must call her by name. Om Jetsunma Droma La Tsagsalo. In form and around here, realm of form, Om. Jetsun, venerable enlightened one. Droma, Tara. La Tsagsalo, I open my heart and bowing to you. Remember these words, because they're all you really need. Om Jetsunma La Tsagsalo. Let them come to your lips when frightened, when upset, when in pain. Om Jetsunma La Tsag Salo. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Sometimes you don't have time for a sadhana. The sadhana will deepen your practice when you can use it. But for example, one time, Wangdor Rinpoche was crossing Tibet, and he was in the cab of the truck with many people and bags and everything else. With the driver was there, and everything else in the back. And they're going along this road with a several thousand feet drop on one side to a river valley, and a cliff up the mountain on the other side, very narrow road. And as they're going along it, the wheel slips off the edge, and the truck starts leaning over the edge. Well, there's no time for a full sadhana here. Rinpoche simply goes, Om Jetsuma Droma Latak Salo, Om Tari Tutari Turiso, Om Tari Tutari Turiso, Om Tari Tutari Turiso, with full concentration, of course, because he's scared shitless. He's about to go down, and the truck stops, leaning like this. And he sits in the passenger seat while the driver and all the people leap off the back to save their lives, grab ropes, tie them to the top of the truck, and once it's secured, they say, okay, Rinpoche, you can let go. We've got the ropes. And Rinpoche stops saying the mantra and climbs out of the truck. Or he's still saying it, but his concentration is now on climbing out of the truck. And the weight goes onto the ropes. And then they are able, with the ropes, and by putting things under the wheels and like that, to get the truck back on the road. And once it's set back on the road, everybody climbs back in and on, and they go on their way. They'd all been dead except for Tara. True story. He lived it, told me about it when he got back from Tibet. Lena, you'll never believe what happened. You got to do this practice. You got to get more time in with it. And told me the story up there in the caves. This stuff works. But sometimes you can't do the sadhana. It's happening too fast. The truck's going off the hill. You've fallen from the cliff and are on the way down. Happened to him once too. He actually fell off a big cliff. Everybody was sure he was dead. But on the way down, while he's falling, Om Jetsuma Droma Latsak Salom Tari Tutari Turi Soha. And he lands on his hands and knees, rolls over a few times, gets up and sits there in a sort of a he said it was like shine, but not on purpose, for a while, and then he picks himself up, dusts himself off, and walks to the monastery where everybody was spending the night. He arrives long after they did, and I said, we thought you were dead. We were thinking maybe we needed to go back and find the body of the little monk. How are you not dead? He says, I flew. He says the next day he was a little stiff, but he was okay. They'd been riding horses, and his horse had stumbled and pitched him off over the edge. There'd been many hindrances that day. The horses were fractious. What is that word, Nyando? Fractious. The horses were fractious. The weather was bad. The path was slippery. And they were crossing this little wood bridge, and the horse lost its hoof in between two pieces of wood and stumbled, and he went off. Om Jetsuma Droma Latsak Salo. Om Tari Tutari Turiso. Om Tari Tutari Turiso. Om Tari Tutari Turiso. Get used to it until it is just what happens in that moment of fear. It works. And there will be these moments where shit happens. 'Cause it do. The activities of all Buddhas personified by this northern direction, this green color, blue-green of the mountain lake. Ngompo. Ngompo Jangu. The activities of all Buddhas is the Dharma, the path. It is through the teachings of the path and the fruition, which is the essence of the path, of the truth as it is, which transforms our habitual negative tendencies into the realization of the nature of mind and reality. Tara's compassionate activity does not limit itself to spiritual benefits. It assists people with their worldly affairs just as well. And it works, which is why I'm encouraging it. Got a problem? Sick Tara on it. The better you know her, the more effective your calling upon her will be. So spend time with her, get to know her. This particular sadhana, again Kriya Tantra, is called the sweet-sounding song that fulfills all aims. Repeat after me. Om Tare. Tutare. Ture Soha. Om Tare. Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare. Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare. Tutare Ture Soha. You can sing it or you can mutter it. Here is the sadhana. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Ge Tor Dang Dogu Norte. With the Om of the jewel of liberation, all that could be wished for is bestowed. Pal Dang Yang So Kyalpa Zang Po. With the excellence of splendor, prosperity, and the like. Shishir Menze Sangwe Sumdak. You bring healing to existence and peace, mistress of the three secrets. Chok Jin Bak Ma Yum La Du Do. Noble mother of perfect generosity, to you I pay homage. Tare Tukki Rinchandru Wo. With Tari, the precious vessel of Bodhisattva. Korwang Song Drupnal Tsuli. You constantly liberate living beings who are as numberless and as extensive as space itself. Kanyami Chen Tak Tu Drolaway. From the ocean of suffering in cyclic existence in the lower realms. Jetsun Drolma Yamla Dudo. noble Mother Tara, to you I pay homage. Tu tare shi jin lab dutsi, with tutare, the ambrosia of blessings. Jik chan gu pe sadung salne, banishes the tormenting heat of fear and misery. Pende pamo gepa jepe zepe, and causes the lotus of benefit and well-being to bloom. Dung we kyo mayum la du do, to you, Mother, who protects us from distress, I pay homage. Ture kyo shab jin pe moni. Ture, the instant I remember you, O Venerable One. Gang du tsendu kyui kope, with your display of attributes and forms to tame beings as appropriate. Dakte pangpa kunte sungwe, you protect against all the misfortunes arising from a belief in a self-existent and separate. Tuk jenyor malam la do. I pay homage to you, compassionate and swift Mother. So ha trin le dzok dan trinji, swaha soha, bountiful clouds of enlightened activity. Yelek norbu druchar bebe, rain down jewels of virtue and goodness. Kam sundro kun ujin solway, that bring relief to all beings of the three realms. Ishin korloyum la do. I pay homage to you, Mother, wish-fulfilling wheel. Dorna si che gyaloe onki, to you, the embodiment of primordial wisdom. Yeshe chiktu pakme kyula, the embodiment of primordial wisdom as all the victorious ones and their spiritual heirs. Ning negyu pe solwa debso, noble lady of my heart, I pray with heartfelt devotion. Chang chu baru yesu zhungshik, care for me until full enlightenment. Dam chodrupe ngalkyen shishing, pacify all circumstances that prevent the accomplishment of the sacred path. Seto paljorik dang sewe, grant your blessings, so that with long life, merit, and splendor, knowledge and love. Tukien malu punsum tokpe, all favorable conditions in abundance. Doni drupa jingilog shik. May I accomplish the twofold benefit for myself and others. Very powerful. Short sadhana. Not the shortest. Shortest you can do is Om Jitsuma Droma Latag Sala Om Tari Tutari Turiso Om Tari Tutari Turiso Om Tari Tutari Turiso. That you got to memorize. This you can work with on paper. But this, doing this, is what feeds the power in you, the connection, the tendril, so that when you grab it in an emergency, it's right there. See? So you need both, and you need to do both. Are there questions on Venerable Tara?
I can't seem to click with Tara, despite reciting her mantra for a long time. What can I do to remedy this?
I had that problem for a while. Even did a nice long retreat on her and nothing happened. It was a past life pagcha that hadn't come loose yet. It's loose now, ever since her text fell off the shelf and hit me on the head. And she decided she was my next yidam, which was not my intention, but okay. I always thought she was too femmy. I have my own hang-ups on that one. Remember non-binary? So, it is because you haven't felt her that you can't feel her. I know that sounds like a loop, but when you actually touch the real energy, there is no way to imagine separateness. So what you can do about it, much of this depends on what your main practice is, what you usually do. If you're Dzogchen or Mahamudra, then recognize her as the face of the Dharmakaya, your own true face. Know this to be so and do the sadhana. Not just the mantra. Do the sadhana. There's power in there. Once you get to know her, I think your doubts will dissipate. Once you get to know this archetype, this energy. She was the original feminist in Buddhism. You know, there was a time when it was believed, and is still believed by a number of monks here and there, that a woman cannot be enlightened. So Tara was a very powerful practitioner. She was a princess who was into practice, a princess, a well-born one, an aristocrat, who was uninterested in being an aristocrat and had gotten rid of it all and gone off to practice. This was in a time long, long ago in a universe far, far away, or a galaxy far, far away. And at that time, that belief system that women could not be enlightened was rampant. And so the great ones said to Tara, the scholars and all of that, "Oh, you are such a good practitioner. Surely if you pray to be reborn as a man, you can be enlightened in your next life." And Tara said, "Not going that way. We need more beings that do it in a female form. I'm staying female. I like being a girl." And so she did, and so she attained enlightenment. The original feminist. You see, enlightened mind does not have a gender. Oh, we humans who love binary stuff like ises and isn'ts, we divide it into masculine and feminine, bodhisattva being masculine, loving, open kindness, and open awareness, sunyata, being feminine. But it's not really like that. Enlightenment is the union of yin and yang. not one or the other exclusively. And it is an oopsie to believe that it is more available or less available to one gender or another. Unfortunately, I had an experience. Shortly after Ziggo Rinpoche had decided I was going to teach now and was a Lama, I'm walking around the lake. I've just got back from doing something in Mandy, so I'm dressed as a tourist, not in my robes. I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt or something. I'm doing a kora. I hear some monks walking behind me from the monastery. And they're talking about how women can't be lamas and can't get enlightened. And, can't do this and can't do that. And then one of them says, yeah, but what about Lama Lena? And another one says, oh yeah, but that's a different matter altogether. That's Lama Lena. She can. It's like, oh, guys. They'll get over it eventually. So will you. Keep practicing. Next question.
I've been doing green Tara with Lama Sultra Malioni. How should I determine which version is best for me, the one that resonates?
The one you like best. That's simple. Do the one you like best. They're all going to the same place. She can change her clothes, so can I. Why not? Her form, her shape, her accoutrements. Sultra Malioni is, I think, Karma Kargyu. So she has the Atisya line of 21 Taras, not the Surya Gupta, which I prefer Surya Gupta. Why? I like it better. So when I teach the 21 Taras and praise to 21 Taras, the images are Surya Gupta, because that's the one I like. She likes Atisya form. That's cool. It is a bit easier. I like old things. Surya Gupta's older. That's personality issues. So you sit there as a personality and eat the one you like. You got a plate with several different kinds of chocolate tarts, but you only get to eat one at the moment. You have another one later. Try the one that looks most interesting to you, the one you like best. Yeah? Next.
In terms of question, hang on one moment, I had it in front of me. Are some female teachers considered to be avatars of Tara?
Yes. Offhand, I'm not sure who, but all females are avatars of Tara. Just as all females are Kandroma. There's just those that know it and those that don't. Knowing it is not a matter of thinking it is so. Knowing it is knowing how to be that. You can do it. It takes practice. Next question.
One is a practical, do you repeat the mantra after the prayer, or do you keep repeating the prayer with the mantra? I think
You just repeat the mantra. You can visualize her getting up and coming to fix it. Whatever it might be in the given moment. Holding up the side of the truck. Next question.
Let's see.
If we have any more good ones in there.
One person asking, is it better to use a crystal mala for the Tara Sadhana and also for the Medicine Buddha Sadhana, or different malas for those practices?
Use your usual mala. If you want to get fancy, you would get a jade mala or a turquoise mala to use for Tara, and a lapis lazuli mala to use for Medicine Buddha. But that's not necessary. Most yogis don't bother with that. Most yogis can't afford that. But if it makes you happy, you can do it. Next question. If it inspires your faith to have, the different malas, if it attracts you to the practice, then you do that. Next.
Is Tara an air element in all of her forms, or different elements?
Different elements, different forms emphasize different elements. Some emphasize fire, air, water. But she's all of the elements. The green Tara is all of them. Next.
How much time should I spend with each yidam? Is it situational, or better to cultivate a relationship with them one at a time?
Oh, pick one at a time. Pick one. Do the practice until it works. How do you know it works? All sound becomes the mantra of your yidam. All form becomes the mandala of your yidam. You are the yidam. When you experience that fully, it worked. All yidams go to the same place. You don't have to do them all. Just do one. They all go to the same place. Full enlightenment. Next question.
Is the green Tara practice good for working with negative emotions like fear or anger?
Yes. Very. Next.
That's the last of the Tara questions. There's some other questions that are more generic or relate back to the Medicine Buddha.
No, I think we're done for today. If there's any really important Medicine Buddha ones, I'll address them.
Let me just take a quick look through here. Is there a point when you're doing the Medicine Buddha practice where you name a person that you are doing prayers for?
Yes, just as you're starting. And you can do that in your own language. As you sit down to do your practice, you take refuge in Arise Bodhisattva. You do that before each session as part of the session. It's the entrance, the door into your session. However you do that, there's prayers that do that, or you just do that in your heart. I do it as Guru Yoga. You'll see me do it regardless of what I'm teaching. Each time. Guru Yoga, which contains refuge in Bodhisattva. So I do it that way. When you've done that, then you want to say out loud, Chakra of Intent, enunciate. This practice is for Joseph, who is currently in the ICU with COVID. Or for Kunchok, who is very ill. And then you simply do the practice, keeping them in mind. They're here with you. You imagine them being beside you with all sentient beings on out from there. And you see the light going into them, not just you. And the little Buddha in the part of their body that's sick. So with Kunchok, it's liver and gallbladder, so I'll see it there. Like that, you do it. Next.
Is there a seed syllable for the Medicine Buddha?
There is, and I don't know what it is. I shall have to look that up. I don't have it at the top of my mind. No, I'm going to have to go double check that for you. Oops, sorry. Another? Or are we to the end?
We're to the end. One person needed clarification on the Medicine Buddha Sadhana. Previously, it says it's good for illnesses except those that are the ripening of karma. And they needed some clarification on what that means.
Some illnesses you're not going to recover from no matter what you do. Like old age. That's a really good example. You're not going to get younger. Not going to happen. It's going to kill you eventually. It kills everybody. Unless something else kills you first. So illnesses like that, which are the ripening of karma and there's not a damn thing to be done about it, Medicine Buddha will simply make the process more comfortable. It's hard to know diagnostically whether an illness is type 3 or 4. So you do the practice and hope that it was a type 3. And at least if it was a type 4, the karmic ones that are going to kill you anyway, at least it's a more comfortable death. I think that clarifies it. And I think, folks, that we are done for today. Tomorrow is Dzogchen, Flight of the Garuda again. I'll see you then. Same time, same place. Ge wadi nyor dudag chi chi sala go pashu. Remember, at the end of every sadhana, sit a little. Relax into natural mind. And sit for as long as is comfortable. Then dedicate the merits and go about your day. We are complete.